Hi everyone, in this video we will talk about chores at home. I'm gonna start with a text. First we will read a text with you and then we will answer the questions. While reading, I'm gonna underline the chores at home and we will learn them in the context. Let's start reading. Mary lives in a house in Boston. She has a big family. Everybody has a responsibility in the house. Mary has to make the beds and set the table. Her mother has to cook and do the washing up. Mary's brother Jack is responsible for feeding the dog and taking it for a walk. Mary's older sister Emma is in charge of vacuuming the floor and doing the dusting. Mary's little sister Linda has to do the laundry and do the ironing. Mary's father has to take the rubbish out and pay the bills. In the family, Mary and her mother have to do the shopping for food. As you see, we have a lot of different chores in the passage. Now we will look at the questions about the text. The first one is, who is responsible for dusting? Let's look at it. Where was dusting? Yeah, dusting was here. Emma is in charge of vacuuming the floor and doing the dusting. So we will write Emma here. Does Mary have to iron? Where was ironing? Yeah, it was here. Linda has to do the laundry and do the ironing. So Mary doesn't have to iron. No, she doesn't. What does Jack have to do? Let's look at Jack. Mary's brother Jack is responsible for feeding the dog and taking it for a walk. So we will write feeding the dog and taking it for a walk. Okay? Whose task is ironing? Ironing was here. Linda has to do the laundry and do the ironing, so it is Linda's responsibility. We will write Linda here. Okay? What does Mary's father have to do? Let's look at Mary's father. He has to take the rubbish out and pay the bills. So we will write take the rubbish out and pay the bills. This is a short answer. We may write he has to. He has to take the rubbish out and pay the bills. Does Linda have to set the table? Let's look at setting the table. It was here. Mary has to make the beds and set the table. So it's Mary, not Linda. We will write no, she doesn't. Right? Let's look at the other one. What does Mary's mother have to do? Where was Mary's mother? Her mother has to cook and do the washing up. So Mary's mother, she has to cook and do the washing up. Right? Okay, who has to do the shopping at home? Mary and her mother have to do the shopping for food. So our answer is Mary and her mother. As you can see, we have different types of responsibilities, different types of chores here. This is ironing, this is setting the table, this is drying the washing up, this is do the laundry, etc. Okay? We have a matching exam now. We have a matching example now. These are the chores at home. Let's match them together. Vacuum We vacuum what? Let's look at these options here. Your bed, the laundry, the carpets, the furniture. It goes on like this. If we say vacuum, it will be the carpets. Vacuum the carpets. So 1 is C. Okay? When we say mow the lawn, it will be I. So it's I. Set your bed, no. Set the laundry, no. What is it? Set the table, yes. It will be J. When we say mop, what can we mop? We cannot mop our bed, right? Yeah. We cannot mop the laundry, but we can mop the floor. So it's E. Dust. What can we dust? Can we dust the garbage? No, we can't. Can we dust the meals? No, we can't. So we will look at the other options. The correct one is dust the furniture. Okay? Take out. What can we take out? We can take out the garbage. So it's G. Load. What can we load? We can load the dishwasher. So it's F. Make. What can we make? Can we make the laundry? No, we can't. Can we make our beds? Yeah. And you can make your bed. So it's A. Let's look at the 9th one. Cook. What can we cook? Can we cook the meals or can we cook the laundry? Yeah, we can cook the meals. So it's H. Do. What can we do? The last option is do the laundry. So it will be B. Okay, these are the chores at home. These are the responsibilities that everyone has. Now we will talk about expressing responsibilities. Let's look at these examples together. She is in charge of cleaning the house. When you use in charge of, it means that you are talking about responsibilities. After in charge of, we use verb ing. She is in charge of cleaning the house, not clean the house, okay? Don't forget to use ing after in charge of. Let's look at this example. Taking out the trash is my responsibility. And the other one, my duty is setting the table. You don't say my duty is set the table, setting the table. So we use ing after this too. I am responsible for washing the dishes. When you use responsible for, you will use washing the dishes, not wash the dishes. Okay? You shouldn't forget ing. So, what is our rule? Our rule is responsible for and in charge of plus verb ing. Don't forget to use these structures like this. And we will want you to make 3 examples about your responsibilities at home by using these structures. Okay? Let's look at this exercise together. We have a picture. We have a lot of pictures here. We will use these expressions. We will look at the picture and write it. This is Lucy. What is she doing? She's doing ironing, right? So we will write Lucy is, we will use the responsible for. Lucy is responsible for what? She is ironing. So she is responsible for ironing. As you see, I used verb ing here. Don't forget to write ing after your verbs. Peter, what is he doing? He is doing the laundry, right? So we will use doing the laundry, but first we will use this structure. What is it? In charge of. Peter is in charge of what? Do the laundry or doing the laundry? Yes, it is doing the laundry. Okay. And necessary. We use this structure to talk about something that is a necessity for us. For example, it is necessary to wash the dishes. We will say that it is necessary. It is necessary to wash the dishes. This is a dishwasher, so we say it is necessary to wash the dishes. What is this? Yeah, this is cooking, right? It is time to cook. We use to here, so we don't use ing after the verb. Let's look at this one. What is she doing? She is mopping the floor, right? Okay, so when we use duty means responsibility, you will say Pelin's duty is, what is her duty? Mopping the floor, right? She is mopping the floor, so her duty is mopping the floor. Let's look at this. What is she doing? She is watering the flowers, right? This is a chore too. She is gardening or she is watering the flowers. We can use both of them. Let's say watering the flowers, okay? We will use this structure. So she is, yes, she is responsible for, what is her responsibility here? Watering, right? Watering the flowers. As you see, I used ing here, and also we used ing in here. But when we say necessary and time to, we use the words like this. There is no verb ing, but when you use responsible for and in charge of, we use verb ing as you see here. This is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Hi everyone. In this video we will talk about chores as our last video, and must, mustn't, have to, has to, likes and dislikes. We will talk about these structures together. I will start with a passage. We will read a passage and fill in the blanks with you, and then we will talk about the rules. Okay? Let's start. Hi, I'm Selen. Today is a busy day for us. My grandparents are coming to visit us this evening, so we have to do some chores. My mother has to what? Let's look at the picture together. What is she doing? She's emptying the dishwasher, right? So, my mother has to empty the dishwasher. You will write empty the dishwasher. And what is she doing in the picture? She's cooking, right? So, and cook. My father has to. What is he doing? He's taking the trash out. So, my father has to take the trash out. This is taking the trash out. And what is he doing? Vacuuming the floor, right? So he has to vacuum the floor. Okay. My sister has to make the bed. She's making her bed now. And what is she doing? She's tidying the house, right? And tidy the house. Okay. My brother has to. What is this? This is a mop, right? My brother has to mop the floor. And let's look at the other picture. do the dusting. Okay, do the dusting. I have to do the laundry. Yeah, this is doing the laundry. And what is this? Iron the clothes. It is hard to do housework, but I enjoy it. Let's look at the structures here. While we are talking about our responsibilities, our duties at home, we use have to and has to. These structures are used to talk about necessities. Let's look at the first one. We have to do some chores. My mother has to empty the dishwasher. My father has to take the trash out. My sister has to. My brother has to. I have to. These are the structures. As you can understand, when we use I, you, we, and they, we use have to. When we talk about she, he, or it, we use has to. The negative versions of these structures are doesn't have to, don't have to. Okay? When we talk about our responsibilities, we use these structures. Let's look at the questions together. Write true or false according to the passage above. Let's start. Selen has to do the ironing. Is it correct? Who is doing the ironing? Yeah, she says, I have to iron the clothes. I have to do the ironing. So it's Selen. It is true. Okay. Selen's sister doesn't have to make the bed. Let's look at her sister's responsibilities. My sister has to make the bed and tidy the house. So she has to. But it says she doesn't have to. So it is false. Okay? Selen's brother doesn't have to cook. Let's look at this exercise now. Selen's brother. My brother has to mop the floor and do the dusting. So he doesn't have to cook. It's correct. It's true. Selen's father has to take the trash out. Let's look at his father's responsibilities. He has to take the trash out and vacuum the floor. So it is correct. The answer is true. Selen's mother has to vacuum the floor. Who was vacuuming the floor? Her father has to vacuum the floor. So not her mother, but her father. So it is false. Selen likes doing the housework. How can we understand it? With the help of the last sentence. It's hard to do housework, but I enjoy it. Enjoy means like here. So it is true. Selen's grandparents are coming this evening. Is it correct? My grandparents are coming to visit us this evening. So it is true. Let's look at the last one. Selen doesn't have to mop the floor. Who is mopping the floor? My brother has to mop the floor. So Selen doesn't have to mop the floor. Is it correct? Yes. The answer is true. When we talk about our responsibilities, we use have to and has to structures. And when we talk about likes and dislikes, we use enjoy and like. We will tell you the other structures after doing this exercise together. Let's do this exercise together. Have to and has to. These are the responsibilities of 3 different people. Let's look at Amy's. Amy has to make bed, dust the furniture, and mop the floor. Bill has to take out the garbage, mow the lawn, vacuum the carpets. Me, I have to set the table and load the dishwasher. Let's fill in the blanks by looking at the tables, by looking at the responsibilities above. Amy, mop the floor. Is it her responsibility? yes. So we will write has to mop the floor, right? Okay. Second one, Amy mowed the lawn. Is it her responsibility? No, it's Bill's responsibility. So she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to mow the lawn. Let's look at Bill's responsibilities. Bill has to or doesn't have to make his bed. Making the bed is not his responsibility, it's Amy's responsibility. So we say he doesn't have to make his bed. Bill has to or doesn't have to mow the lawn. It's his responsibility, so Bill has to mow the lawn. Let's look at the last one, me. Do I have to set the table? Yes. Do I have to vacuum the carpets? Vacuuming the carpets is Bill's responsibility, so I don't have to vacuum the carpets. Bill has to vacuum the carpets. Is it my responsibility? Yes. I have to set the table. When we talk about I, you, we, and they, we use have to. For negative sentences, we use don't have to. When we talk about he, she, or it, we use has to for positive sentences. When we talk about negative sentences, we use doesn't have to. Okay? These were our examples about have to and has to. Now I want you to talk about must and mustn't. When we talk about obligations, we use must and mustn't. These are library rules here. We have 4 rules. Return books on time. This is positive. Keep quiet. This is positive. Don't eat or drink. This is a negative rule. Don't disturb others. This is a negative rule. So, let's fill in the blanks with together. Let's fill in the blanks. First one, you keep quiet. Is it must or mustn't? Keep quiet. It's a positive rule, so we use you must keep quiet. Let's look at the second one. You return. When we talk about obligations, we use must and mustn't. We have 4 library rules here. They are returning books on time, keeping quiet, eating or drinking, and disturbing others. Return books on time. This is a positive rule, so we use must when we talk about it. Keep quiet is a positive rule, so we use must when we talk about it. Don't eat or drink, and don't disturb others. These rules are negative rules, so we use mustn't to talk about them. Let's fill in the blanks together. You must keep quiet. Keep quiet is a positive rule, so we use must to express this rule. Let's look at the second one. You return books on time. Is it must or mustn't? Yes, it is must. You must return books on time. Let's look at the other one. You eat or drink. Is it a positive rule or a negative rule? It says don't eat or drink. So we will write you mustn't eat or drink. Let's look at the other one. You disturb others. You must or mustn't. It says don't disturb others. So we will say you mustn't disturb others. When we talk about prohibitions, we use these structures, must and mustn't. For positive ones, we use must. For negative ones, we use mustn't. Let's look at the example here. We have an exercise. We will read 4 passages about 4 different people. After reading, we will answer these 6 questions as true or false. Let's start reading. Elif from Turkey. In my family, my mother does almost all housework. She cooks, cleans the house, and also repairs. My father works very hard, but he is responsible for paying the bills. I do simple housework at home. I empty the dishwasher, make my bed, and do the dusting. My sister and my brother only make their beds. Let's look at the chores here. What are those chores? Making the bed, do the dusting, empty the dishwasher, paying the bills, cleaning the house, repairing, cooking, right? These are the chores. When we use responsible for, we use ing, as you see here. He is responsible for paying the bills, right? Let's look at the second one, Sally from USA. I live in a flat with my mother. I'm the only child and my father died when I was 6. My mother works at a bank, so she comes home late. I have to help my mom with the housework. I usually cook, this is a chore, before my mother comes. I make my bed, this is also a chore, and tidy the rooms every day. We always clean the house at weekends. These three phrases are chores. Let's look at Tim. Tim from England. I hate every kind of chores. I think they are not fun, so we call them chores. Taking the rubbish out, dirty and not fun. Sweeping the floor, actually it's harmful because the dust causes cancer. He really hates chores. Okay, we have some chores here. What are they? Taking the rubbish out and sweeping the floor, right? Okay, he says I hate every kind of chores, right? He doesn't like it. When we talk about our likes and dislikes, we use other structures too. I'm gonna talk about them after we finish this. Susan from France. I always help my family with the housework. In the morning, I make my bed, this is a chore, prepare breakfast with my mom. When I come home from school, I do the dusting or comb the floor. I like cooking, and my mother and I sometimes cook. My family doesn't want me to do chores a lot. They think I have to study my lessons and do sports. As you can see, she used like to express her feelings here. I like cooking, right? And he says, I hate every kind of chores. When we talk about our likes and dislikes, we use different types of structures. They are like, enjoy, love, keen on, crazy about, fond of, and interested in. And when we talk about the ones we don't like, we use don't like or doesn't like, dislike, hate, and can't stand. For example, you really don't like doing the laundry, you say, I can't stand doing the laundry. Okay? These are the structures we use when we talk about our likes and dislikes. Let's turn back to our exercise. We have 6 questions here. Susan's parents want Susan to help with the chores at home. It says, my family doesn't want me to do chores a lot. They think I have to study my lessons and do sports. So it is false. Okay, Tim can't stand household chores. He says, I hate, and Tim can't stand. As we learned, they are the same things, so it is true. Elif doesn't help her parents with the housework. She says, I do simple housework at home, so she helps her parents. It is false. Sally thinks she has to help her mother with the housework. I have to help my mom with the housework, she says. So it is true. Elif's father is responsible for paying the bills. She says, my father works very hard, but he is responsible for paying the bills. It's the same sentence. It is true. And the last one, Susan never does housework. Let's look at Susan. She says, I do the dusting, vacuum the floor, blah blah. So we cannot say never she does housework, so it is false. We can look at the other exercise together. Here we have 8 sentences and they are the rules, but we will decide whether they are the rules at home, in the class, or at the library. For example, you mustn't speak loudly. At home, you can. In the class, it's not a good thing. At the library, you can't, right? Okay, so we may say at the library. You have to raise your hand before speaking. You don't raise your hand at home, right? Yeah, so we use this in the class. Okay, you have to help your parents with chores. When we talk about chores, it means we are talking about home. At home, we have to help our parents with chores. You must return books on time. This was the rule of the library, so the answer is at the library. Let's look at the 5th one. You must arrive on time. At home, in the class, or at the library? Yes, it is in the class. You mustn't eat or drink. We mustn't eat or drink where? At the library, right? Okay. You must keep your desk tidy and neat. If you have a desk, it means that you are in a classroom, right? So, it's a class rule. We use this rule in the classroom. You must obey the rules at home, in the class, at the library. We may say at the library for this. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to repeat the words we have learned together. And don't forget to do your homeworks. See ya.